Hey guys, I'm back. One of my subscribers requested for me to do a favorite makeup brushes video, so I figured why not share some of the favorite makeup brushes that I use on a daily basis. These will typically be face brushes. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up at the end, and if you'd like to see my favorite eye makeup brushes, maybe I can do that next time. A lot of the makeup brushes I use are drugstore, but I do have a little bit more higher end, so I just thought I would share some of my favorite brushes that I use on a daily basis. This right here, guys, are some of my favorites. I have a mix of Sigma, Makeup Geek, and Real Techniques, and e.l.f. So if you guys want to know what makeup brushes I'm really loving, just keep watching. My two favorite face brushes are the flat Kabuki style, like this, and the one that I gravitated to the most is actually this one from Coastal Scents, and it is the BR110, just a basic flat Kabuki brush. And I picked up about 4 or 5 of these when they had their 50% off sale because they're really like around $4.99 or $6.99 each. So I got a whole bunch of them and they're very easy to clean. And what I like about this typical brush is that I can easily dot some liquid foundation onto my face and then I kind of press and do a blurring kind of pat on as I work the foundation into my skin. And I feel it gives a nice overall coverage. It's just very easy to apply my makeup with. And then the other one that I have is this one from Sigma, which is also the flat Kabuki brush. This one was a little bit more expensive, but honestly, it does the same thing as the Coastal Scents one, and this one's my favorite. Another flat Kabuki brush that I really like is this foundation stippling brush from Makeup Geek. It does about the same thing, but the difference between this one and the Coastal Scents and the Sigma one, what I really like about it, has a much smaller head, so I can actually fit right in between my eyebrows, and it's much easier to get into those crevices around my nose, around my mouth. It sets that foundation in a lot easier. So if you're looking for something for smaller areas, I would pick up or at least research this Makeup Geek Stippling Foundation Brush. You can find it on the Makeup Geek website. I recently found my holy grail blush brush, and it is this one from Real Techniques. First of all, isn't it cute? It has a little pink detailing on it, like sort of a rose gold pink handle right here. It has a fluffy, it looks like a fluffy bunny tail on top. And what I really like about it is slightly contoured, so you can easily dip it into your blush. And then the way I use it is I dab, dab, dab up, and I produce as much color as I possibly can towards the top of my temple. And then once most of the color has been deposited, I connect the dots and then kind of blend it all in. And then if it doesn't have enough color again, I'll do another time. But if you do that motion of just tap, 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 I feel like you don't get this clown, bright, parakeet red cheek right away because you're kind of blending it up and away from your apples, the apples of your cheeks, which gives a nice natural flush. And this can be found at your local drugstore, you know, Rite Aid, CVS, Walgreens, and Ulta. And sometimes they sell it in a set that comes with a couple other brushes, and sometimes they sell it by itself. This is so good I had to pick up an extra one, but they're very easy to clean and you just lay them out flat to dry, and they're brand new all over again. Now let's talk about bronzer brushes. My favorite bronzer brush is this one from Sigma, and it is the angled Kabuki brush. And what I really like about it is when you go and you dip into your bronzer, it deposits a lot of color onto the brush. You take that angled thing, you take that angled brush, and where it's the most angled, as you can see on the right, I guess it would be your right side of the brush, you fit it into that hollow right under your cheeks and you just dab it up. And then as you're doing that, you're creating this nice contouring line. And of course you're going to use the brush to blend up, around, and out. You always want to blend up towards your ear and your hairline because you want most of the bronzer on that part of your section. You don't want as much down here, but you do want to create that definition. Now this brush is great for creating a nice contoured bronzer line, but at the same time it does a great job of blending. So if you put on a little bit too much, this brush is great to kind of fix up that dirty brown orangey mess. You don't want a dark, dark, dark bronzer line. You want it to be kind of smooth and blended out. So this brush is great for application, for contouring, and as well as blending it out. Another great brush for doing a more all-over bronzer kind of blending look, like let's say you want to skip blush altogether and just kind of bronze up your face, this brush is great for that. And this is the Morphe Brush S19. It's great for applying bronzer like this, you know, on the temples, contouring around your chin and neck, but it's also great for using just the side, dipping it into your bronzer and just kind of applying it. You can kind of contour with it, but then you can blend it out. So this is another wonderful brush. I love the fluffy bristles. It's very comfortable. It fits nicely into the hollows of my cheeks. And that's the Morphe S19 brush. If you really, really want to contour and you want to create that line first before you start blending out your bronzer, a really great brush to do that with is this e.l.f. Angled Contour Brush. and this is from their studio line. I think it runs about $3. And it's small, as you can see, but it has an angle to it, so you can dip this into your bronzer and create an actual line of where you want that bronzer to apply. And then once that's in place, you can take one of your other brushes, like the Morphe one, and just blend it out. So that's another really good technique to use, and another really great brush. My last favorite bronzer brush is actually from Real Techniques again, and this is their contour brush. It has a round tip, as you can see on its head, but it's small, so it's great to dip into that bronzer and work your way up. But because it is small, it helps to create that contour line, as it is a contour brush, and you can also blend it out when you're finished because it does have that soft bristles and it's a round head. This e.l.f. Complexion Brush has a little bit of a contoured shape to it. So what I really like is this is a great brush to use for very shimmery bronzers, the kind that add a glow to all over your face. And you can also use it to shape up around your forehead. You can create a contoured line with it, but it can also be used to work all over your face for bronzer or for highlight or even powdered foundation. And that is the e.l.f. Complexion Brush from their studio line. To set under eye concealer, I really love this e.l.f. Small Tapered Brush. It's really great to just pick up some of that setting powder and just easily apply it under your eyes so you don't get any creasing, and it keeps that concealer in place all day long. And again, this is from their studio line. I really enjoy the brushes from e.l.f. studio line, and the way you can know they're from the studio line is because they're black. Their dollar line are white brushes, which I also like, and I will probably be sharing them with you if you would like to see my favorite eyeshadow brushes. But their studio line runs at $3, and this brush is pretty awesome. In the e.l.f. studio line, there's also the blush brush, which it looks like this. It has kind of a dome shape to it, but it's also a little bit flat, as you can see. And I don't really like it for blush because I feel like it's too small. I like a more round application when I'm doing my blush. But this has become one of my go-to brushes for highlighting. I just take a little bit of highlight powder and dab it and create that little C formation, which is where you're supposed to apply your highlight. Down the bridge of the nose, the cupid's bow, so on and so forth. This brush fits perfectly above that cheekbone, right where you need to get that highlight in. I really like it, but it does pick up a lot of product, so you have to be sure to be careful to dab the excess off before you apply that. Now, if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to blend and you're scared you're going to apply too much highlight and you don't want to be over the top with that highlight, the holy grail brush of mine, again, is another e.l.f. brush, but it is the Small Stiple Brush. Now, this is wonderful. I think this works perfectly for applying highlight. I love, love, love this brush. I used to use it to set and apply my under eye concealer, but I didn't really like it for that. I felt it would be kind of patchy. So now it's become my highlight brush, and all I have to do is dab it into that highlight powder and dab it into that C formation where highlight is supposed to be applied, and it works perfectly because it doesn't pick up too much product. It picks up just enough, and I feel like it kind of blends it as it's doing it, so it's never over the top. It's very natural, and it does give you that dewy highlighted look, and I love this brush for that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my favorite makeup brushes video. If you guys enjoyed watching this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment if you'd like to see my favorite eyeshadow brushes. Thanks so much for watching, and if you aren't already subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!